Hey guys, it's Madison Estes. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be going over all of the thriller and mystery books that I got at my library's annual book sale. Last year I did a video that was every book that I got at the book sale, but that ended up being way too long. And also my friend who went with me last year didn't come this year, so I didn't have anyone to stop me from buying everything. And I ended up buying, instead of 2 bags of books, which is what I bought last year, I ended up buying 3 bags. And then my mom came and she bought 2 bags. So it's a lot. For those of you that don't know, at this book sale, they do a regular book sale in the morning, which is where I bought like 4 of these books. And then in the afternoon, they do a bag book sale where you shove as many books as you can into this brown paper bag, and you get to take it home for $2. So the first book I want to talk about is Daddy's Girl by Lisa Scottoline. This does not look, the cover looks like 50 Shades of Grey, but the plot on the back is very different. I kind of wonder if this is like some bad marketing or if there actually is going to be gratuitous smut in this. I'm good either way. This book is about a woman that works at a prison and a riot breaks out and one of the guards becomes mortally wounded and he tells her, "Tell my wife it's under the floor." She has no idea what that cryptic message means, but she has to figure it out, and there's like cops and killers that are hunting her along the way. So it sounds really interesting. The cover doesn't look like it matches the blurb on the back, so I don't really know for sure what I'm getting into, but it sounds like a thriller, and I'm really excited about this one. This is another one I got before the bag sale started. It's called Win by Harlan Coben. I love this character. He's a reoccurring character in another series by this author, but this is apparently the first time this character's ever gotten an entire book that's in his POV, so I'm really excited about it. It's about a ridiculously rich guy who had some very valuable family heirlooms that were stolen, and they turn up at a crime scene decades later with a dead body. So I think that it's a really cool premise. I already love this character. I'm really excited to get into this one. This is the last book that I bought before the bag sale started. It is The Chalk Man by C.J. Tudor. I had started reading this book a while back. I think I borrowed it from the library and I never finished it. But it sounds really good, and the fact that I didn't finish it isn't an indication of the book's quality. I have a very short attention span, and particularly with library books, I'm terrible with deadlines, so sometimes I'll return stuff meaning to check it out again, and then I don't. But anyways, that's a personal problem. So it says, in the 80s, Eddie and his friends are on the verge of adolescence, spending their days biking, blah blah blah. It's a lot like Stephen King's It, right? And then, you know, they have chalkmen that are like part of their secret code, and then they find one of these chalkmen next to a dead body. Flash forward decades later, Eddie gets a letter that has a chalkman. It's the same one that they found next to that dead body all those years ago. All of his friends get the same chalkman letter, and then one of them ends up dead. So I definitely think that this has kind of elements of it. I'm not sure if it's going to go in a supernatural direction or not. But either way, I'm really excited to read this. I'm excited that I found this because, you know, it was slim pickings, it seemed, when I first got there. And this kind of felt like finding a diamond in the rough. So I am really excited to finish this at some point. I only got a few chapters in. I'm just going to reread this from the beginning because God knows I don't remember anything. But excited for this one. So on to the first thriller book that I grabbed during the bag sale. This book is called Missing Persons by Stephen White. It follows psychologist Alan Gregory. One of his psychologist friends gets murdered and he begins investigating. He tracks down one of her missing patients and he thinks that the answers to the case might be inside one of the minds of his own clients that he's been treating for schizoid personality disorder. So yeah, I think it sounds really good, and I love mysteries where a psychologist is the sleuth, so this one sounds really promising. The next thriller / mystery book I picked up is Double Tap by Steve Martini. Do you think that's his real name, or do you think that's like a pseudonym? I don't know. Imagine being like Steve Vodka or something. I don't know. That's probably a real name too. A businesswoman of a high-tech company that caters to the military is found murdered. There are 2 tightly grouped bullet wounds found in her forehead, which is known as a double tap, which is a signature of a highly skilled military assassination. So yeah, I think this sounds really cool. I haven't read a whole lot of books about like military murders or military conspiracies, so we'll see if I can get into this one. So here's a book that I thought was a thriller. It's called Trust Me, I'm Trouble by Mary Elizabeth Summer. It looks like a thriller, right? Like, look at that cover. That cover screams spy thriller. Anyways, I grabbed it because it looked like a really cool spy thriller, and also it's technically YA, so I thought I might give this away come Halloween time. I read the first couple pages and it's going on and on about tacos, and I think it's trying to be funny, but I didn't think that it was funny. So I'm gonna pass on this one. I think tonally it's different than what I thought it was gonna be. and I don't think that the story's gonna have anything to do with the cover. I think this is a case of really bad marketing, or inaccurate marketing. I guess it's good marketing because it got me to get the book, but yeah, it's a case of like feeling like a bait and switch, so that was a little bit disappointing. But you know, that's what happens when you do a bag sale and you're just grabbing books because, oh, the cover looks cool, or oh, you know, in my case, I can read this one and then regift it because it's YA, and it looks interesting, and then you read the first few pages when you have, you know, when the bag sale's over and you have time and you're like, oh, never mind. I'm glad that I'm at least going to be able to give it away for read-a-ween, and I hope that someone else finds it interesting. So the next book I got is The Death Factory by Greg Illis. So I got this book for a few reasons, mostly really shallow reasons because I love the title and I love the cover, and sometimes that's all you need when you're doing a bag sale. But also this one is about a guy who works for a DA office known as the Death Factory, which sends more killers to death row than any other in America. And it looks like there might have been a crime lab mix-up, which sounds really interesting. The stakes are really high, obviously, because they send people to death row. So this sounds really cool, and also it's very short, and for someone with a short attention span that's getting shorter all the time, that's nice. So it's not like a huge investment of my time, and if I end up liking it, then I have found a new author to read, so I'm excited for this one. So the next thriller is The Twisted Window by Lewis Duncan. This book is just about a guy that's stalking a girl, and it says he has plans for Tracy, which sounds interesting to me. It sounds very Joe Goldberg-esque, like she's gonna end up in his glass box. So I'm interested to see where this book goes, and you know, I love the show You, so if it's anything like that, it should be interesting. Lastly is the novel He Who Kills Dragons by Leif G.W. Pearson. This book is about a detective who thinks that there's something else going on whenever he shows up at what appears to be an ordinary murder scene. His colleagues think it's an open and shut case, but he has a hunch that it's something more. His hunch ends up being correct, and then he's on the case of what I'm presuming is a serial murderer. It also says that while he's investigating, he aggravates everyone around him in the process, so this kind of makes me think a little bit of the show House, like a detective version of that, although House itself is kind of a detective show in a way. But the other thing that makes me a little bit wary is that it says, with his combination of laziness, luck, and unbelievable sense of timing. That worries me because I really hate books where luck plays a huge part in, you know, unraveling the mystery or, you know, solving the crime. So we'll see. I might research this one a little bit before I read it because it's a pretty big book, and I swear if like in the third act he like finds out the killer or solves the crime by accident, I'm not going to be happy. So we'll see. I might not read this one, but it does sound interesting, assuming it doesn't have that really bad flaw that I'm worried it might have now. This is what happens when you don't read the blurbs of the books that you buy. So that is it. That is all of the thrillers that I picked up at the book fair. I'm going to do a separate video for the horror books that I picked up. And real quick, I just want to show you guys the books that I got for Read-a-Ween. In addition to thriller and horror books, I also picked up a lot of YA books and a lot of little kid picture books. And the reason I did this is because we're going to pass them out for Halloween instead of candy, or in addition to candy. I just kind of like that because I know there's some kids that have allergies, some kids can't have candy, they're gluten intolerant, and I don't know, like I loved reading when I was a kid, so if someone had done this for me, had passed out books on Halloween, I would have been super happy. I would have like freaked the heck out if someone had passed out books on Halloween night. I remember somebody passed out whole candy bars on Halloween night and I never forgot it. Like it has stayed with me until now, just thinking about how cool that is. Hopefully they'll like it. Hopefully they won't think that it's lame. And if they don't like it, then boo. Boo on them. This will be the only year that I do it then. But we'll see. Hopefully they like it. So in addition to the fact that I would have geeked out so hard if someone had passed out books for Halloween one year, it's just nice to have something that everyone can have and parents don't have to worry about it. And then I also know that some parents are worried about things like razor blades in the candy and poison, and yeah, I mean in general I would, you know, probably be careful about who you take candy from. But anyways, books are poison free, so books are 100% safe and everyone can enjoy them. And yeah, so this will be a fun experiment to see if, you know, how the kids react, if they like it, if they're just have been ruined by tablets and video games and there's no point doing this anymore. I don't know, we'll see. But hopefully they like it. And even if they don't, it was a very cheap experiment. I think I only spent $4 on 2 bags for the kids' books. So it'll be interesting to see how they respond and if they, you know, enjoy read-a-ween. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe. On this channel, I post reviews, writing advice, horror commentary, and vlogs. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you later.